it is one of those. It destroyed. Nothing grows. There's no, like people have attempted to like get stuff to grow in the area, and it is like there is a very distinct. It's not like it slowly treks over to making it waste. Like the grass just straight up stops growing. So it's lush and green on one side, and it is like a line, and on the other side it's just.
Is your stream still going?
It says it is.
Does the other faction still exist in some kind of underground capacity, or
no?
The war just kind of settled
it. The war settled it.
Okay.
If you are on the other faction, it will be dealt with accordingly.
Because it was also that was part of the whole starting the census originally was not necessarily to determine like your magic, but like
who do you align yourself with?
Yeah, your alignment and traitors were dealt with very harshly. And it was more along the lines of like, oh, you don't like. We need you to register. I don't believe in registering. Yeah. We need you to step over to this line, sir. What for?
Take a shower.
Exactly.
The shower room smells like death.
Exactly.
I had a character that was kind of like that once.
So
at least I didn't know.
A lot of those people, either people got wise and realized what was going on, and so it's just not brought up anymore if there is an underground faction. But again, think of the fact that like you have a whole college full of magic users that can cast Zone of Truth, Command, Charm Person. No, Command. Do you believe that Carius was correct in doing things? Yes or no? And you have to give that answer. Yeah. It's a one word. It's a command to basically get you to tell the truth. And yeah, you get screwed on stuff like that.
Dang.
So people have learned to basically
just not even think it.
Yeah.
So how far removed are we from that?
100 years.
So it's been 100 years since the 100 Years War?
Well, it's been over 100 years ago.
Okay.
From what is called the Wild Mage War.
So it's old people stuff.
Yeah. Nobody. The only people that know anything about it, like that were actually there or alive during that time frame, they were already like close to being high-end magic users already. Because they can extend their lives longer.
Are the people that were a part of that war widely known? Like, we know Carius is.
Yeah.
Are any others known?
There are like known like war generals and war heroes and stuff like that.
That's when you do history check.
Yeah. But that's basically the wasteland is one of those like it's also off limits. Going into the waste is a criminal offense.
I'm sure there's stuff there that they wouldn't want people getting their hands on.
There might be knowledge there.
The waste basically also it's the quarter the size of of some of the other regions. And
like the waste is
almost the same size
as Titch.
Yeah, and it's almost the same size as Bastille.
Yeah. And if you're not a really big worldly traveler, how much is commonly known about the other continents?
Or the other regions?
The other kingdoms or whatever.
And they are kingdoms. They have their own kings, but they all of their they don't have kings. They have
kind of like dukes.
No, it's more along the lines of like there's like a parliament type system that everybody bows to the one person in the college. And here's the fun thing: Carius is considered the ruler of Alterwind, but Curious is not the ruler of the college, and the college rules. He's one of the councilmen on that.
Curious rules Alterwind. College is not ruled by Alterwind.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So-
he pretty much dictates how the college was going to be.
The college rules all. And
Think of
Curious
it
rules
this way.
all.
There's an elected official that rules the world, and he has a parliament, which has basically the rulers of all the other nations, who give him counsel, and then he makes decisions. The oldest living person in the council is Curious.
Okay.
So
Curious
there's
is
somebody
older than the
above him.
headmaster.
Technically, it is widely thought that they are puppets
Mhm.
of him, but it's not. Nobody can confirm it because there are times that they go against what Curious wishes, but
It's all an elaborate ruse.
Okay, strange question. Ultraman?
yes,
Where, I haven't seen where is that?
Alterwind is in
Ultrawind.
Mercius. It's
It's where that little dip is out from
Ah, there it
Mercy's.
is. Okay.
Yep.
I kept missing. Gotcha.
And Cress used to be the main capital.
Cress used to be the central capital, but Cress was also a capital of a different. Or Alterwind used to be a capital of another region, and Cress was the center point, and it got moved to Alterwind when the college took over.
Gotcha.
So the string did die, and it came back.
Ah, okay.
I see it now.
How many viewers do we have?
We've had one consistent, but like we've had a couple of people dipping in and out. Any other questions about the weird politics of our?
You said we were going to be a bear.
Let's go start in Perry. Yes.
So,
So for those that are already in Perry, based on their character background, you don't have to worry about too much. Leslie,
I get it now.
what?
Oh, so you said it was not recommended to go into the other regions,
Oh, the other continents?
Yes.
Pirates or-
like the continents. Sorry.
Okay, so the reason I said not to pick a character from one of the other continents is because the other continents get into this weird, like,
There's a fucking language barrier.
yeah, you've got a language barrier, you've got a bunch of other things that come into play with that. Because think of it more along the lines of like there are, to get from Aethoris to Tyria,
Mhm.
that's a couple of years ship travel.
Mhm.
Because of sailing and the oceans and whatnot, and monsters and avoiding monsters. So it takes like a year or two to get from one continent to the other.
Okay.
So once you get over here, you're pretty much stuck there.
Gotcha.
There's still trade that goes between the two,
Mhm.
but like what typically ends up happening, you don't go from Aethoris to Tyria. You go from Aethoris to the Lefrays, and then from the Lefrays you hop another boat over to Tyria. So again, it's this weird like conjunction of getting stuff
Oh, okay.
to go.
Once you leave, you ain't coming home for a while.
Yeah, it's much like the original concept of coming over to the Americas from England.
Mhm.
If you come over here, you're here for 10 years, and then like if you go back, your life is not the same in England as it was.
Mm.
Goodbye, son. I'll see you in 11 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Because whatever you're gonna do, it's gonna take a while to get there and take care of it.
When I see you, I expect
So,
you to have a full-
The other thing about being from another continent is due to the fact of being from another continent, you're not savvy to some of the
ways.
Yeah.
Laws.
So like the law, and think of it the people from Aetheris, when you're on that continent, magic works normal. You set foot on Tyria, and all of a sudden your magic doesn't work the way you
And you're
anticipated.
automatically an unregistered mage, probably.
Yep.
And there's certain species of people that are allowed to live on Aetheris.
Yep. So that gets into the other thing of like during the Wild Mage War, that was when a lot of the species, like the tieflings, got outlawed. Tieflings, angels. The only thing that's not outlawed are Dragonborn, but Dragonborn are not. They're not a. It's not two Dragonborn getting down and making a Dragonborn. A Dragonborn is more like a golem, where they are magically created.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're still seen with extreme prejudice.
They're not seen with extreme prejudice. They're
Oh, my bad.
Dragonborn are they exist, but because they are magically created, they are very, very, very rare.
Okay.
Is it? You read Dragonlance, right?
Yes.
Do you remember how the the bad guy dragon dudes were made? Do you remember how they did that?
The Dragon Knights.
Yeah, like the Dragon Knights or whatever. Like
No, I don't.
they were the eggs of the good dragons were taken and a ritual was caused, and instead of a dragon coming out, this dragonborn looking thing came out instead.
Oh, the dragon kind. Yeah. Okay.
Or is it kind of like them pulling the orcs out of the muck in Lord of the Rings?
It's sort of like out of the muck, but not quite exactly.
You're a mud golem that looks like a dragon.
It's very hard to explain.
Okay.
There's not been a dragonborn made in centuries.
Okay.
I want to be one of those.
Yeah, that's the other reason that Dragonborn. I said you can't play a Dragonborn is there hasn't been a Dragonborn made in centuries prior to the Wild Mage War.
Someone may have tried, but it went horribly wrong.
Possibly. In the Wild Mage War, the only reason Dragonborn are liked in Tyria is during the Wild Mage War, the Dragonborn helped Curious.
Okay.
They sided with him and like helped him fight.
Amen. Be careful. You're pulling.
Yeah, there's cables near you.
Yeah, I just had my foot stuck for a second.
Elves they exist, but again, they are very rare. And the reason that they are rare is a total different war. And that is the unification war. And
So they're looked down on. Even if there was one could show up, they wouldn't be treated very well.
and the reason that they're not treated well is they were pure neutral when it came to the Unification War. The Unification War, the reason it's called the Unification War is in Tyria, that's when all of the nations unified together and became one large nation. And they came together to fight a single emperor that tried to rule both Tyria and Aetheris. And during that fight, the elves said, "Fuck it, we don't want anything to do with this."
We're in our woods, don't give a fuck.
Yeah. The dwarves, on the other hand, were slavers, and it wasn't the fact that they chose to be slavers, but the emperor forced them to be slavers. Hi, I've conquered all your lands. Your choice. Do what I tell you to, or I kill you all. And they said, yeah, we'll go collect humans and elves and turn them into slaves for you.
Didn't they side with
But
the wrong
before
brother as well?
that,
The dwarves?
Yeah.
There were no
Oh,
dwarves.
they weren't
That
part
was-
of the war
that
at
was-
all, right?
That was thousands.
Okay.
We're in the
We're
after
in
unification.
976.
so that was 976 years prior to him.
Okay.
But because they were slavers, now they're like everybody else is like now. Well, it's your turn. You're the slaves now.
Right, and it is the whole like, it's not necessarily that it's your turn, but it's the, even if your family wasn't one that was directly related to the slaving, it was when it came time and you had to choose like fight or like bow the knee, take the knee and like follow this jackass. You took your group, your race took the knee and followed jackass. We don't care anything about. So that gives you guys why, so that if you do decide to play one later, say your character dies and you want to make one of these characters, it is possible to have them on the continent. You will not be treated kindly. And as an NPC, yes, there are some people that are, not all dwarves were bad, so we're gonna be, but there's, that's a handful of people versus the rest of the continent is still, no, fuck the dwarves.
What about the elves?
They were neutral, so it's they chose not to fight. So
And they're really rare.
And they're rare because the dwarves locked them up as slaves and killed them.
Okay.
As I said, my world is a very gritty, horrible world.
Very.
No, this is real shit.
We've already talked about magic. Whenever
Sorry.
you cast a spell that is first level or higher, unless you are not going to the college at all, you have to roll
D20.
the d20. And it is not based on wisdom or intelligence, it is just a straight roll. It's at percentile list. And then we have another chart that we look at.
You know what? I didn't go to college. I was going to stand in the town square and cast mending all day until something bad goes wrong.
And then you will be dealt with by the end gauntlet.
Yeah.
I know. It's just fine.
Shelby, are you almost done with your character?
I mean, if you want to read her stuff on the thing instead, because she's just copying on a paper right now.
So it is on the D&D Beyond?
It's under my name,
I'll put mine on D&D on tonight. I want to write my story out.
and I haven't added it
Yeah.
to the actual thing, because I have,
You can
Unless-
share it.
unless it was shared already. Yeah. How do I share it?
Is it on the Tyria campaign?
Don't think so.
Creations for my campaigns. Actually, got my characters. No, it's not, so go to my campaigns. Creation.
I'll add it there in a second.
So welcome to Tyria. There should be a way to import a character.
Yeah, I was about to say there should be a way to make a character that's not assigned to somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's create unassigned character, but
I
it's gonna
think I
put you
can
all the way
click.
back to that part.
And you won't have any
Well,
options.
crap.
It's also on your D&D Beyond.
Yeah, it is under mine. I mean, give me a
Yeah.
second, and I will copy a link.
If it's not
Okay.
part of the campaign, you don't have access to books that everyone has. It's just horrible.
Okay, so what else do we need to go over?
I'll send it to you via
That's
messenger.
what
Is that
it
cool?
Yeah. So what?
I'm wondering what we're gonna get involved with if everything's pretty much established now.
We'll find that out.
Yeah, that's part of the fun. Is it not?
There. Sent it.
So, if I know that's what my character is working towards is being a part of the Gauntlet, doing like the Elders Night.
Yeah.
Would he have had any kind of training, being like with the government, City Watch, that kind of thing?
The City Watch would have its own weird training. But most of what the City Watch trains is hand-to-hand combat, more
Right.
fighting style.
I just didn't know if the cantrip did.
Nope, because the City Watch doesn't know how to deal with that.
Okay.
And especially with you being in Farron, Farron is not the.
If you want to go look at stuff.
You have a higher chance of that, of finding like magic using City Watch in Alterwind, where everybody goes. And again, it's that whole like, I gotta pay for college somehow. I'll join the City Watch. It's that type of stuff that happens. Whereas in Farron, it's the whole like your typical like beat cop type thing.
Okay.
But you randomly go around profiling dwarves, don't you?
No, just all dwarves.
Well, I can't look at your description.
Oh,
It locks that from me.
here.
They run away from you, so you perceive a threat and shoot them in the back with a crossbow.
There you go.
This is still acting wonky.
How's like the status of society in general? Like people are like there's still like a mass peasantry and like less of like people in the higher.
No, there's still a like there's still people that are high end and so forth.
Right, so it's not like there's still like squalor and poverty and stuff like
Did you
that.
create a
It's just-
D&D Beyond account already?
Depends on
I
where.
wouldn't let
where
her.
they're from.
She was trying to log
Yeah.
into your group.
Like so, Taprold
do you
has
have a
a
Twitch
higher
I do not.
poverty
That needs
rate
to be something
than
that
some
you
of the
make.
other
Mhm.
areas. And the
That's
reason
why they add the Google things. You don't have to have Twitch.
Yes, but it also helps with your streams.
Right.
So the reason Taprold has a higher, which is where Farron's at, has a higher poverty rate. One, it's a northern continent or northern country, and two, Taprold, a lot of the major
So
supporters of
when you tried to create the D&D
Corbin
Beyond account,
was from Taprold.
did you use
So when it
a
came time
different
to,
Google
like,
sign-in than the one that was
we're
already
gonna
listed
help
to show
rebuild
cut
the
through
rest of the
guild
nation.
logo?
They went, hey, all of you assholes, like, help join Corbin, you get less money.
You could use a couple more bridges, but
Yeah,
we just don't have the money.
So, Farron is the,
Choose your username.
and Farron is not
How did it
the
work,
capital
too?
that it used to
Reset it.
be, is the best way to word it. Because it's been the capital of Taprold for a while. But it's not the, like,
Yeah, I just reset it. Back all
nothing
the way
about
out.
it is the way that it used to be.
But there is a nobility and a like a
Yeah,
higher
there's
class of people.
yeah, there are.
Another pencil. My lead.
So- Yeah, go ahead.
I had a misinterpretation of which capital was doing which. So I, for some reason, had in my head that that's where the college was in Farron.
Ah,
So
It
I'm
has lead
thinking
in it.
instead he'll still be there, but he's hoping for maybe like a transfer.
That
Okay.
doesn't count.
And so he was hoping to
The pink
eventually
one.
get to
yeah,
where
yeah,
that would be.
that's fine.
And what's the big city, the one the college is in? It's
Alterwind.
Alterwind. Got it.
Like that.
Alterwind is just big enough to have all sorts of people.
However you spell it out. Things are hard.
People of all walks of life, because that's what the college accepts if you can do magic. And if you have money.
D4 plus 3.
Anything else?
Short bow.
Any questions about the world?
I think I got most of mine, and then you're gonna write the plus again.
Extremely low
Which is
magic.
plus
I know
one.
that. How difficult is it to find like steady job, stuff like that? Like, is the
Jobs,
job market fairly okay?
jobs you can find jobs.
Okay.
And when he says low magic, like it's low magical items. Like there's not a lot of it.
Right. Which
I was
Which-
just talking
which-
magic
which-
in general.
Sure.
Which falls into the whole like 5th edition.
I mean, if you're playing
concept.
5e, it's
Yeah.
just don't
Don't
count
just
on finding magic items.
Yeah, and you're right. There is magic, and there is a lot of magic that can potential for magic, but because of the problem with the wild mage,
Okay. Because of the screwy nature of magic.
people try not. Magic is more of a last resort type thing.
Is there a higher than normal, like, percentage of populations magically inclined?
No.
So that's still a talent that most people don't have.
Yes.
10.
The GP.
If you really want to, you can write those down. I don't. I just write down.
Well, we got 30 minutes before 10 o'clock.
So let's stay here until 1 a.m.
No, Mom.
You hush.
Well, I don't have to be at work until like 3 tomorrow, so.
Hey. 8. You're fine. You don't need sleep.
Mm.
Sleep is for the weak.
Sleep is awesome. You
It
should-
I am
is.
very,
It
very
is.
weak today.
Shelby, where's
Whatever.
your character from?
What city?
Let's do Farron.
Okay.
So is that 4 of the 5 from Farron?
The only one. Well,
You
you
said-
said Farron too, or
Yeah,
are you
but-
going to the college?
I'm from Farron, but I'm going
Oh.
to the college.
She's already at the college.
Okay.
She has already been enrolled.
Yeah.
So she's starting with you, basically.
And you're from Ultrawind.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
City boy.
So 4 of the 5 are from Tyrrell.
yep. For those in Farron, it has been now. Here's your intro, and you'll get to stew over this. It has been known that the Alterwind and the college has requested another census of the area and a detection of any rogue mages to be found. They have sent people from the college to come and help take the census. Those that are in the town, whether you have been registered before or not, must re-register. And that's where we're going to start our session. For those that are in Alterwind to start with, or thought you were, Psycho has been brought back to Farron because she knows the people, and he knows the people, and it's the whole using locals to like get other locals to come in. They bring you for the factor of you have a few spells that they could use to possibly help find people if need be. You work with the city guard, so you're going to be helping the college get people together and so forth.
I'm just showing up for a census. Awesome. I show up just in time for a census. Fuck me.
Coming in with a load of stuff you've hunted, and you're like, ah, man.
That's funny because this is a hunter-gatherer.
That's what
No, it's just a fucker with a longbow and a wolfskin cloak.
This is probably my first like outing from the city.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be
My
great
life.
because I've already been registered and branded.
I mean, obviously, my family's from there, so I'm gonna see my family when I visit there.
Oh, shut up.
They said you had to be re-registered, so we might have to rebrand you too.
That's fine. I can't cast any spells. I just have latent magic ability. I don't know any spells right now.
And other latent things.
No, like straight up rangers end up getting magical abilities. They just don't have it.
So, that's
It's either third or second. I think it's third.
so we might game next week. We might not.
Second.
Like, I might be here because they're probably gonna do my birthday party in Huntsville on Christmas anyway, so
Okay.
I might not have to miss anything.
I don't want to start without everybody being here because like the start should have everybody here. But yeah, we'll get this started either next week or after the New Year's.
The second.
Yeah.
First day back to work. Somebody
DnD. For those that watched at home, whether you watched on here on Twitch or on YouTube, thank you guys so much. I know that this wasn't the most exciting thing to watch, but we will be back, like I said, either next week or at the very beginning of the new year with the new homebrew, starting off with our session 1 and going from there. If you've enjoyed it, hit the like and subscribe button. Come on over to Twitch, hit the follow button. Come join us live, chat with us. Like I always tell everybody, we don't always get to watch chat during the actual sessions, but I do pay attention to chat and look at it after the fact, and we will make notes of people that's talk and so forth. So thank you again. I'm Shinigami Tabris, also known as Boomer. I hope you have a wonderful day or a wonderful night wherever you are. And until next time, peace out.